So, in case anybody's wondering what happened to that RPM sense loss fix, there it is. It's the 8 kW, the Centurion model from Lowe's, which is a GENERAC. And it's not like the Honeywell edition where they kind of deny it. There's the controller set to the off condition. I pulled that fuse. I already took the screws out of this when I pulled the machine because I wanted to show this. This right here is the part number for this controller, OH6680A. And this display is dead, but only because I disconnected it to pull it out. And this is where your control wires come in. This would be your N1 and N2. They're not in here. These are the ones the control module uses to sense the power. Down here is the 12 volts DC. The zero common, which they don't use. None of that really matters. But anyways, the certified technicians, they sent 3. The first 2 agreed that the controller was shot. They no longer make the A model or the B model. They do still make the D model. So to replace this, you would have to order a 0H6680D SRV, I think is the last part. And it has the SRV because in order to use the D model, you have to get a wiring harness which adapts this wiring that connects to the controller through a small module into this. And that module was like $1,100 in most places. I found it for $659, I think, on eBay. It was in one of those pop-ups. When I clicked on it and it took me to the ad, it was actually now $769. So, and I did find a few in that price range. But and that's with the harness which adapts the two. They sent a third technician and he couldn't even get it to start manual. When I went back, it did start manual. But regardless, they condemned that controller. The controller, basically, if you think $1,100 for the replacement controller, then you have to have shipping, handling, tax, installation costs. You're going to be maybe in the $1,500, $1,600 range. And they sell the 8 kW, or did, for about $2,100. So you could move up 15 years, because this unit is 14 to 15 years old now, and you could move up, say 15 years, get the new model for just a couple $100 more. So the owner of this decided that that was the smarter of the two investments of money. But come to find out, they don't make the 8 kW anymore. At least they don't seem to. So he had to go to a 10 kW. And I'm currently waiting for that to be delivered so I can install that. So basically all I did, I removed the gas. That nipple I stuck in there, that's just to make sure no dirt, water, mice, anything gets in it. Put a piece of tape over the electrical, where the electrical comes in right there, and pulled the unit out. I also removed the battery. I shedded every bit of weight that I could get. And this is the best time of year to be replacing these things, I'll tell you what. You know, you want to wait until it's freezing temperatures. You've got lake effect snow coming in, all that good stuff. The other thing I wanted to show is, like, on here, when I was trying to troubleshoot it, I had a lot of other things running in manual under the run history. And I was checking the alarm history because the RPM sense loss, if you look at the date, the time, that was a Wednesday, and that's when it does the exercise. Like here, I can't see the screen of this thing. Running the exercise, 10 o'clock. And the same date, stopping 12 minutes later, 12 minutes and 7 seconds. But the exercise for this model used to be 12 minutes. Now you can set them for like 5 and every other week. But I found out the owner was starting it and stopping it, and that kind of threw a monkey wrench into what I was trying to do. That's always good. And here, that's what I've got, the A model. It's a Rev C, but you don't need to even know that. It's just that model controller. And there's the part number, NEXUS controller, replacement kit for A and B control panels. Includes newer style D controller and an adapter kit. Not a replacement for T or E controllers, basically because they're totally different controllers and they're still available. So you don't have to get a different part number. So that's how I ended up where I ended up. And I want to troubleshoot this thing for everything else in here works, and I want to troubleshoot it further now that I can tear it apart because I own it. But I did want to get back with the information on that. Now I will tell you that this one has the 35 amp double pole breaker, and the 10 kW is going to be a bigger breaker. So I'm going to have to put either a 35 amp breaker in the 10 kW to protect the ampacity ratings of the wires, or change the wiring. And I know this application, I went into the cellar right behind the generator, and this panel was like through the cellar, which is a finished cellar, and then in a wall. So if I don't have to change that wiring, I won't. Because the other thing is this handled that whole house through a storm. I mean, they weren't like living off grid, but and it took care of all our needs. So they don't need any more power than the 35 double pole. And because the panel on utility power gets fed to the transfer switch from his main panel, that panel also has, I think he had a Cutler Hammer panel, so he has a Cutler Hammer double pole 35 amp breaker. So as long as I leave that in, that panel will never need more than 35 amps. But I will offer at any time, if he wants to upgrade, I'll change the wiring. He can have more power. I don't think he has any more circuits, so he won't be able to do anything with it. The good thing is that when it runs, it will not have to run at full load. So it'll save fuel, and he'll have the latest and greatest, probably connected to Wi-Fi. so he can get notices, whatever. And like I said, when I pull them out, I lift on the vents. I had to turn this around because I took it off the trailer and I had the gas stub sticking out, and I don't want it sticking out. My luck, it'll get hit. But see these hooks? These are the ones, they come up and they grab this right here. So that's why I like to push down on the lid to unlock and lock, and then lift the hood. And typically when I'm trying to do a video, I lift from the side so I don't block my camera, but you should lift it from the center. And it's a pretty nice outfit right here. If anybody's looking for a 15-year-old GENERAC with an RPM sense loss problem. And this is the first job I've ever done. It was like as difficult as watching that ad on TV for Ingrezza, where they have the two guys trying to hand screw in 2 screws into metal framing studs. Then they use the screwdriver. Yeah, it can't be done. So I will toy with this when it gets a little warmer, in about 9 months. I'll tell you what. Anyway, that's all I got. That's the update. If I find anything different than that controller being bad, I will post a video and explain what I think happened. Until then, have a good one.